Nothingness. It's a concept that sounds simple, just the absence of everything. But the moment you try to define it, it slips away, revealing itself to be far stranger than it first appears. Can true nothingness even exist, or is the absence of everything still something? To grasp what nothingness truly is, we have to start with what we know. Everything around us, matter, space, even time itself, exists within a framework. The universe is filled with energy, forces, and particles that interact in ways we can measure and observe. But what happens when we remove all of it? If we strip away every atom, every photon, every bit of space-time, do we reach pure nothingness, or is there still something left? Even in physics, the idea of absolute nothingness is problematic. Quantum mechanics tells us that what we think of as empty space isn't truly empty. The vacuum of space, which we might assume to be nothing, is actually a roiling sea of quantum fluctuations, particles popping in and out of existence, governed by the uncertainty principle. This means that even in the deepest voids of the cosmos, something is happening. There is no true nothingness, only lower and lower states of something. But what if we go further? Imagine erasing space itself, removing the very fabric in which these fluctuations occur. Would that finally give us nothing, or would we just lack the tools to comprehend what remains? Even if space and time disappeared, some physicists suggest that the laws of mathematics would still exist in some abstract way. After all, numbers and equations aren't physical things, they're relationships, patterns that seem to be woven into the structure of reality itself. If those laws persist, can we ever truly reach nothing? Philosophers have wrestled with this dilemma for centuries. One of the most famous questions posed by the German philosopher Martin Heidegger is, why is there something rather than nothing? It's a question that challenges our most basic assumptions about existence itself. If nothingness is the default state, then why does anything exist at all? And if something must always exist, then was true nothingness ever possible? This leads to an even more mind-bending thought. Can we even imagine true nothingness? Every time we try, we picture something, a black void, an empty expanse. But even a void is still something. It has dimensions, depth, even a sense of presence. Nothingness, by definition, cannot be seen, felt, or imagined. It is the complete absence of all things, including the very concepts we use to define it. This makes nothingness one of the strangest paradoxes of all. We can discuss it, theorize about it, even fear it, but we can never truly comprehend it. Our minds are wired to think in terms of things, of existence. To truly picture nothing, our own consciousness would have to cease to exist, and if that happened, well, there would be no one left to perceive it. Even death, which we often associate with nothingness, doesn't quite fit the bill. Many belief systems propose an afterlife, a continuation of existence in some form. Others suggest that death is simply the end, a return to the state before we were born. But even that state isn't true nothingness, it's simply an absence of awareness. The atoms that make up our bodies still exist, the world still continues. Nothingness, in its purest form, is something we may never be able to experience. So where does that leave us? Are we doomed to chase a concept we can never grasp? Perhaps. But maybe that's the point. Maybe nothingness isn't meant to be understood. It's meant to remind us of the strangeness of existence itself, that we are here thinking, feeling, and questioning in a universe that could just as easily have been empty. Maybe the impossibility of nothingness is the very thing that makes something so extraordinary. And so we're left with a question as puzzling as the one we started with. If true nothingness can't exist, then is existence itself inevitable? And if so, what does that mean for us? Something to wonder about.